Yeah, it's just weird if somebody tries to step into your father role at 26.
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
I ain't calling him daddy. Get ready to say I do. It's an all-wedding episode of Josh and Kristie Stealing the Internet. I'm Josh.
And I'm Kristie, so let's jump into our first story.
This one is simply titled Couplezilla Story.
Couplezilla? So it's a Bridezilla and a Groomzilla?
Yes, it is.
You don't hear about the Groomzillas very often.
Oh, they're out there. My husband was asked to be the best man at his friend's wedding. The couple decided to not get married for 2 years so they had time to plan their dream wedding and save for their honeymoon to an expensive location. That's cool, to each his own. The planning process was a nightmare. Several friends had dropped from even attending the wedding due to the bride's awful attitude and the groom's sense of entitlement. About 6 months before the wedding, the groom asked my husband about the bachelor party. My husband told the groom that he and the other groomsmen would get a limo into a bar crawl with some adult entertainment at a great spot close to home. The groom said nothing.
Okay, did he say nothing angrily, or did he say nothing like, okay, cool?
I'm guessing it's not like, okay, cool. The following day, the bride sent a group text to all groomsmen ripping them a new asshole. That they're fucking useless and she can't believe she's doing their job for them. She said that they've had 2 years to plan and save, and the bachelor party needed to consist of at least a 3-day weekend in Vegas, renting a suite at Caesar's Palace, and treating the groom like a king and footing the entire bill. I should note, The Hangover was a really popular movie at the time.
Okay, I feel like if you, as the groom, have the expectation of your bachelor party being a destination bachelor party, you need to, let your groomsmen know when you, very early on in the process. You don't just, expect them to know. You gotta tell them that's what you want.
Yeah, you've got to plan that out, and I think expecting your groomsmen to pay for a destination bachelor party is a little entitled.
I get that the groomsmen are supposed to plan the party, but you gotta let them know what kind of party you want.
Yeah, if you have expectations.
Yes.
My husband texted the bride outside of the group text and told her that some life issues had come up and we couldn't afford an extravagant weekend in Vegas, but the bar crawl would be great and the groom would surely have a good time. Not good enough. She texted paragraphs about how our money problems were not her problem, and if he couldn't do this, they would find another best man who would. My husband, never one to hold his tongue, let alone have a filter, said to her, "Why would I spend all this money? You'll be divorced in 2 years."
Ooh, burn.
He was Jazzy Jeffed out of the wedding party and we were uninvited.
I think at that point I'd be okay with that.
The groom ended up having 2 bachelor parties, one in Vegas, the other in Montreal, with 2 people in attendance at each. Does that include the groom?
I would assume no, the groom and 2 other people, but still, that is a small party.
Yeah.
And I feel bad because those 2 people who attended probably had to foot the whole bill for his stuff.
Sounds like it. The happy couple filed for divorce 23 months after they were married.
Ooh, almost exactly. He said 2 years, he was 1 month off. That is so close.
Yeah, I think Price is Right rules, though. He went over.
Yeah, that's a good point. I want to know how many groomsmen he actually ended up having. Was it just the 2 people who showed up to the bachelor party were the only groomsmen, too, and everybody else dropped off? Or did some groomsmen just not go on the bachelor trip?
I was wondering if it was 4 groomsmen and they went half on one, half on the other.
Oh, that might be it, too.
Top comment, it must have been a struggle to resist texting her to say, "I told you so."
Yeah.
Imagine thinking other people would save up 2 years for some aspect of your wedding, then getting angry when they didn't. Yeah, if it's that far out, it's not like I'm gonna spend 2 years planning it.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna put off planning it until closer.
Yeah, what are you gonna do for 2 years of planning? That's insane.
All right, let's move on to Bridezilla ruined our friendship of 20 plus years.
I do feel like weddings and bridesmaid issues really lets you know who your true friends are. You can be like, yeah, we're best friends. We've been friends for 20 years. And then turns out you're not that good of friends.
It's kind of like living with somebody before you get married.
Yeah.
This is the true test.
The true test.
Right, so best friend of many, many years got engaged. Immediately asked me to be a bridesmaid. Was thrilled for about 0.2 seconds until she said, "Ha! Now I get to make you dress girly." Her list of requirements included dress, heels, I had to grow my hair to at least bob length, I had to dye my hair, I had to get a tan, fake or sunbed, and I definitely had to use body makeup to cover all my tattoos.
Okay, that is extreme. Yes, you can make them wear a dress and heels. You cannot require body modifications to their hair and skin.
That seems extreme, yes.
Yeah.
Is it within reason to ask somebody to wear, like, a dress with sleeves?
Yeah.
If everybody wears it, maybe?
I was like, you're the bride. You can pick what dress they wear. So if you want to cover their tattoos, you can pick a dress with sleeves or whatever. But you can't tell them they need to put makeup over their tattoos, in my opinion.
But what if they're the only one you ask to wear sleeves? Is that rude?
That's weird.
That's weird, right?
They don't match the other bridesmaids then.
Yeah.
If each bridesmaid is wearing a different dress, which is a common thing sometimes, you know? Like they just all wear the same color in different styles.
Yeah. But you might hurt that person's feelings.
Yeah. But even if they're all wearing different styles, you still want them to all look kind of similar, like the same length, the same sleeve or sleevelessness, you know?
Right.
So I feel like that messes up the uniformity of the bridesmaids and is not okay.
Now, readers, this was a gut-wrencher. Anyone who knows me knows I am an absolute tomboy who feels deeply uncomfortable wearing dresses, etc. But hey, it's the bride's big day, right? I offered to do all except grow my hair.
She gonna make you wear a wig, isn't she?
Not good enough. Apparently, I would ruin her photos with my crap short hair. Arguments started, texts and group chats aplenty, telling me I was being stubborn and it's for one day and I should suck it up. Back and forth for a while, but around that time, my dad was diagnosed with a terminal illness. We mutually agreed my dad was my priority, and I stepped down from bridesmaid to guest. Growing your hair out is not a one-day thing.
Yeah, that's like...
From here till now, I have to have long hair. Or I have to grow hair.
And that's super annoying. Like, especially if her hair is really short and she has to... Bob length is like chin length at least. That in-between stage from like a pixie cut to the bob is the worst.
Yeah, it does. It goes through some awkward stages.
It's so awkward looking, and it's so unmanageable and such a pain in the butt to deal with. Like, it's going to take her so much work to be presentable enough looking to go out in public during that growing out stage.
She asked me what me and my girlfriend would be wearing. I replied that we had tailor-made suits from a wedding last year and they would be perfect. She told me she didn't want everyone staring at the two lesbians in suits, and that everyone would be talking about us and taking attention away from her. People, I was gobsmacked. Girlfriend refused to even go. I told bride unless she was telling all the guests what to wear, she could fuck right off.
Yeah, that is discriminatory.
I went to the wedding, didn't want to be the asshole who didn't show up, to be honest. It went swimmingly. An absolutely grand affair with no expense spared. I left after the first dance to get home to my kid, had been there for 8 hours at this point, and was told the next day that at the end of the party the bride was sobbing that I left early and ruined her day. She also texted me to tell me the money I had gifted her was nowhere near the cost of hosting me.
That's so rude.
So, we don't talk anymore. Update, I'm getting married. My fiancé proposed last week. We're both gonna wear suits and Bridezilla ain't invited.
Very nice. I feel like if she was a good enough friend that the bride is sobbing that she left early and ruined the day, she shouldn't have cared what she was gonna wear, you know, if she really wanted her there.
Bride obviously cares enough about this person to have a lot of opinions.
Yeah. And they ain't good ones.
Yeah, the bride thinks about you often enough that she is not indifferent to what you're doing. I'm not sure if that's good.
I don't think it is.
I mean, in this case, it wasn't.
I feel like this is one of those scenarios where they've been friends for like 20 years, so the bride is remembering her as the little girl she was friends with and doesn't actually like the person that she grew up to be and wants her to go back to being like how she was when she was a little girl. Meaning she doesn't like that she's a butch lesbian now. But I wouldn't dream of asking someone to change their appearance for our wedding photos because, like, if I care about them enough that they're in the bridal party and they're in my wedding photos, I want them to look like themselves.
Yeah, it would be really weird if you had photos and they had, like, long hair for that day and, like, no tattoos.
And that was the only time they looked like that. People would look at the photos and be like, who the heck is that?
Yeah, no one would know who that was. All right, this one feels mandatory for any wedding drama discussion.
Okay, give it to me.
Am I the asshole for refusing to let my mom wear white to my wedding, even though she claims it's her last chance to feel beautiful?
Not the asshole. Why do people want to wear white to other people's weddings?
There's, like, one rule.
Yeah, there really is. That is the rule at a wedding.
Don't wear white, and if they ask if anyone objects, you don't object. I just turned 23 and I'm getting married in October. My mom and I have always had what I would refer to as rocky relationship, especially since I got engaged. She's been oddly competitive. commenting on my body, comparing our rings, like we are in a competition, saying things like, "This day is as much about me as it is about you."
What? That's insane.
I honestly thought she was joking, until she showed me the dress she bought. A white, floor-length gown that looks exactly like a bridal dress. And I told her, flat out, she cannot wear that, because in my opinion, it doesn't match the occasion. She got quiet, then burst into tears, saying it's her last chance, and this was an opportunity to feel beautiful before getting old. And that I'm selfish for not letting her have this one thing.
Oh, so selfish. This one little itsy-bitsy teeny tiny thing.
Yeah. I feel really bad about this, so I also offered to go shopping with her to find something elegant and more appropriate. And all of a sudden, her countenance changed, and then she told me I was controlling and ungrateful. What gave me peace was that my fiancé backed me up, as did my maid of honor. Now my mom is threatening to not come to the wedding, and my aunt says I should just let her have this to avoid drama.
Do not let her have this. I think if she doesn't come to the wedding, that's okay. She's gonna ruin it and make it all about her anyways. And that's not how you want your day to go.
No. You want it to be all about you.
Yeah, as it should be.
Yeah. You gotta be a little bit of a bridezilla. There's a line that you're supposed to be aiming for.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm wrong for drawing a line here, but now part of me wonders if I am the asshole.
Not the asshole. And I mean, I know this is your mom, so you don't really want to be mean to her, but she said this was her last chance to feel beautiful before she got old. And I was like, I'd be mean and be like, you're already old.
Your little girl's getting married.
You're ancient. You can't wear that. It'll look ridiculous on you because you're so old.
Oh, mean. You would never say that to your mom.
I would never, but that was my first response. The petty inside of me wants to say that, but I would never say that to my mother. But my mother is also a very kind and generous woman and would never try to wear white to my wedding.
Right.
And I don't have a rocky relationship with her like she does. So I don't know. I feel like I can't really, compare my mom to this crazy lady who wants to wear white to her daughter's wedding.
That is extreme, though. That's taking attention from the bride.
Yeah. It feels like she wants to be the bride, and I'm like, no.
It's her last chance to feel like a beautiful bride.
She already had her turn.
Top comment. Your mother is threatening to not come to the wedding? She's extremely manipulative. Take her up on that offer.
Yeah. She just sounds like an all-around terrible mother and a manipulative narcissist.
OP, stop engaging with her tantrums. Mom, you cannot wear white. You will not be allowed in if you show up in a white dress, and people will secretly mock you for it. We'll miss you if you can't make it. Then disengage from the convo. Go low info with her on the rest of your wedding plans.
That sounds like a good idea.
People will make fun of you.
Yeah, they will. And be like, oh my God, did you see the mother of the bride is wearing a white dress? What's wrong with her?
Yeah, if you wear white to a wedding, everyone is going to gossip about you.
Definitely will.
No wonder you have a rocky relationship. She's a narcissist who has you so damn gaslit you don't see the forest for the trees or the bridle for the gown. Don't let your aunt gaslight you either. Frankly, if they're pulling shit like this now, I say don't invite either of them to the wedding and be really clear as to why. Because no, Mom, this day is not as much about you as it is your daughter.
Yeah, that statement in itself was insane.
Not the asshole. Your aunt is an enabler.
Maybe the aunt is part of the reason why your mom is the way she is, because she's been accommodating her all her life.
Mom changed wedding cake behind my back. Doesn't know that I know. What should I do?
Change it back.
Well, that's just step one, at least, I'd say.
Okay, yeah. I need more information on why she changed it and what to come up with a properly evil, petty revenge plot. So give me the story so that we can help OP get her revenge.
My fiancé and I get married this fall, and the cake has been a huge point of contention with my mom. Long saga, but the gist is that we wanted a dessert bar or cheesecake instead of a traditional cake. My mom initially insisted on having at least a small cake just for us to cut. We compromised and got quotes.
I would be so stoked if I went to a wedding and they had cheesecake.
Cheesecake is good. It's probably, yeah, I would prefer cheesecake.
And then and a dessert bar where you can just pick and choose a bunch of different desserts. Ooh, I would be so excited. The dessert is the best part of the wedding for me.
Not the love of the happy couple.
No cake.
Right before we put a deposit down, she decided that having just a cake for us and not for guests is tacky. So we needed to get a sheet cake to serve as well. We were annoyed because she was the one to suggest it, so we cut our losses and opted to do tiered cheesecake and mini cheesecakes as we originally wanted.
If you're doing like a tiered cheesecake, yeah, you can just cut the cheesecake. Because I get that you want to have the cake cutting moment.
Yeah.
And if you just have like one layer flat cheesecake, that's not as exciting. But if you have a tiered cheesecake and you can do the cake cutting on that, and that sounds like a good compromise.
Yeah, I don't really see the need for it to even be tiered, honestly. Like, just do a slice of cake. I don't think anyone's gonna care that much.
Yeah.
It's your wedding photos. My mom would not let this go for the past 6 months. She then decided to focus on pushing for a groom's cake. My fiance did not want one. When I told her this, she said it's really only a groom's cake in name and not about what he wants. I told her a firm no, multiple times, because she wouldn't give up.
It's literally a groom's cake. Who is it for then?
Not the groom.
No.
That brings us to this week. I got a text yesterday saying she was at the bakery and paid for the order. I got suspicious because I never included her in those communications. I called the bakery today and was told by a very apologetic employee that my mom had added a multi-tiered groom's cake with different fillings, flowers, the whole kit and caboodle.
Okay, groom's cakes are not supposed to look like wedding cakes with flowers. They're usually like their nerdy fandom.
Yeah, they're not a flowery cake.
Yeah, the groom's cake is, hey, I have a Batman cake. Or, hey, I have a Super Mario Brothers cake.
It's just a little cake over here so that the groom doesn't put his stupid crap on your cake.
Yeah. Which I never thought was fair because, yes, I do want the beautiful wedding cake, but why does only the groom get to get a cake for their nerdy fandom? I want a Lilo and Stitch cake.
You let me use Star Wars cake toppers, so you aren't a good example.
I am not. But I did put a veil and a little top hat on the ATATs.
Yeah.
I made them wedding themed.
We still have cheesecake, but I feel like it'll look silly next to what is essentially a wedding cake. My question now is, what do I do? She doesn't know that I know. I'm furious and hurt. Obviously, it's just a cake, but it's not really about that now. She went behind my back and crossed multiple boundaries after I told her no. Am I being a Bridezilla for not letting her have her traditional wedding cake?
No, not the Bridezilla. I would definitely be canceling that cake order. And, like, I don't know if the store will let you do that without letting your mother know because she's the one who paid for it.
I mean, they might just refund her.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying is they'll refund her and then she'll know that you canceled it. But I would want to try and cancel it without her knowing so that she doesn't try and go somewhere else and get a cake and have it delivered to the venue day of.
I mean, she paid towards your order. I'm wondering how much you can just say, we're changing the order again, but let's keep that deposit money there.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I don't know what the rules at the bakery are. Can you just take the money your mother put down for the wedding, the groomsman cake, and put that towards your cheesecakes and your snack bar? Or because it's the mother's money, they'll have to let her know. Because I don't want her to know.
I was going to say, legally, I think your name is on this order.
Yeah.
So you're probably fine, but also I bet that bakery does not want that drama.
Yeah, they do not. But they don't want the bad review, and if the bride gives them a bad review, that's bad. But then they're also concerned that the mother-in-law is going to go and write them a bad review.
Poor bakery.
That poor bakery.
They're caught right in the middle, aren't they?
Yeah, this is tough. I don't know what kind of revenge you can get for this besides canceling the cake, but I would definitely be canceling the cake, but I want to do something even pettier.
I mean, you could always get rid of the cake cutting altogether if you really want to, but at a certain point, you're hurting yourself.
Yeah.
Although I don't think they wanted the cake cutting initially, did they?
I don't remember.
They just wanted like a cheesecake. So maybe they cut the cheesecake, but
Yeah.
nothing wedding cake looking.
I thought the small cake was a nice compromise, because that's kind of what we did. We did cupcakes, but then they made us a 6-inch cake that went on top of the cupcake tower, and we cut that and stuff. And I feel like a lot of people do that, where they just have a small cake and then a bunch of other desserts, and they cut the small cake. And I feel like that's okay that if you have a small cake and not everybody gets cake, they get the other desserts, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't know why the mom had such a problem with that.
Top comment, cancel it. Cancel it now. And give all your vendors a password that must be given before any changes are made.
Oh yeah, definitely the password thing.
I've never considered that you might have to do a password with a vendor.
Oh, you obviously haven't been reading enough Reddit wedding drama, because they all are like, you need a password so like your mother-in-law doesn't go and change everything.
That's hilarious. I'm so happy that our wedding didn't need a password.
Yeah, no, this is a very common thing in the wedding industry, is having a password So other random people that are like family members and stuff and part of the wedding party can't make changes without your approval.
I wonder why so many photographers I know won't do wedding shoots anymore.
I know, right? But yes, I definitely think getting a password is a good idea, but I just feel like if the mom knows that her order has been canceled, she's going to go and hire a new vendor unrelated to any of the vendors that you're already using. So they're not going to know they need a password, and she's going to make them bring a cake and deliver it on the day of your wedding.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I haven't considered this level of deviousness.
And I don't know how to circumvent that besides canceling the cake order without letting her know.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the bakery's okay with that.
I say change the delivery to your mom's house. It's her cake. Let her have it at her house.
Ooh, I like that. Oh, that is a nice level of petty. Yes, that is what I would do. And then she still pays for it, but it's her cake, and it's her own fault. But also, she's not going to be home when they deliver it because she'll be at the wedding. So they're just gonna... Because you don't want them to deliver it too early while she's home, or she'll bring it with her.
It would be hilarious to see her try because it's a multi-tier cake.
So you want them to deliver it while she's at the wedding, but she's not going to be home, so they're going to leave that cake outside on her front porch, and I hope it's not hot and getting smelty or raccoons don't get it. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no.
And other people in the comments are agreeing with you. Don't cancel it or mother will go to another bakery. You can do something like donate it to another wedding that is low on funds or send it to a shelter.
Ooh, that's a good idea too.
Don't refund it, but just send it somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Get that cake out of here.
Yeah. No, I was just thinking, I do feel like you also need to let the wedding venue know that we are only accepting desserts from this one company. If someone shows up with a random cake from a random company, you do not let them and tell them to take that cake away. You need security to keep this cake out of your wedding.
You gotta have cake bouncers. Alright, update. Hello again. A big thank you to everyone who gave advice on my original post. I'm now married and had the best, most relaxing honeymoon with my now husband, without any pesky family bothering us. By the time I posted, it was too late to cancel the wedding due to deposits and contracts, so it continued as planned.
Cancel the wedding or the wedding cake?
It says wedding. I didn't realize that was on the table. And to clarify, yes, my parents did pay for the wedding, although my husband and I made it clear several times that we did not expect or need them to pay for everything. No, I don't think them paying excuses my mom's actions. My parents reiterated that it was our wedding and we should do what we wanted. Clearly the cake was the exception to this, though she had previously said to get cheesecake if that's what we wanted. My husband and I got a laugh out of everyone's suggestions for how to handle the cake. Initially, I wanted to go the petty route and surprise my mom by calling the bakery to change the cake design to something she would find tacky, that would reflect my husband's hobbies, like a groom's cake should do.
Yeah.
After taking a few days to weigh my options, I knew my desire for petty satisfaction would nuke my relationship with my mom, which had truthfully never had this dynamic up until wedding planning. I knew that she absolutely was the one in the wrong and acting like a child. While I am the actual child in the relationship, I wanted to be mature and handle this like an adult, if only for my own moral high ground.
Boring. But, understandable.
I communicated with my parents and listed all the reasons why this situation and others throughout the wedding planning process were hurtful and completely out of line. Shock of the century to everyone on Reddit, I'm sure. It didn't go well.
Oh.
There was a series of text messages I received from my mom that demonstrated she couldn't take accountability or comprehend that I wasn't mad that she ruined my wedding by ordering a cake, but rather that she went behind my back knowing it would surprise and upset me on my wedding day. I attempted multiple times to redirect to the actual issue with little success. We ended the conversation with her apologizing for a cake making my husband and me so upset. This obviously wasn't a genuine apology or the main issue, even though she thought it was. She also agreed to move the groom's cake to a meal we had the day before the wedding, which I was fine with.
Okay, that's kind of weird that you're going to have a wedding cake at the rehearsal dinner.
Yeah, right.
That's weird.
It's a rehearsal cake. At this point, we were a week out from the wedding, and the thought of continuing to press the issue was too much for me to handle with everything else on my plate. I dropped the rope leading up to the wedding, so I could refocus on enjoying my wedding as best as I could. I interacted with my mom as little as possible the day of, and our wedding party and coordinator did a fantastic job being a buffer. While I've had some contact with her since, it has dramatically declined so I can get some much-needed space. Obviously, we'll need to have some tough conversations, but I'm choosing to spend my time with my new husband first, and getting back into therapy. Weddings, man. They really bring out the crazy in people. Oh, and the cheesecakes were a huge hit.
Oh, good. I'm glad, because cheesecakes are delicious.
Yeah, I could do cheesecake at a wedding. That sounds good.
Yeah, actually, I think the favorite cupcake that we had at our wedding was a cupcake with cheesecake filling and strawberries. The cinnamon swirl one was really good too, though.
Yeah, I remember enjoying the cupcakes at our wedding. I could not tell you what flavors we had.
It feels a little crazy that your mom chose this hill to die on and it's ruining your relationship.
A little bit, right?
Yeah.
1 year update.
Oh, okay.
I'm back. I'm back with a 1 year update on how my mom changed my wedding cake order without me knowing. People have reached out for an update, and coincidentally, I've had several friends get engaged who have similar family dynamics as mine. I've shared all of this with them, but I feel the need to blast this out online too. Now that I'm a year out, I can acknowledge that I love my husband and our life together, but having a traditional wedding was a big mistake. When I think back on our wedding day, I am devastated to admit that the few emotions I remember from the day were not how much I love my now husband and excitement over our future together, but anxiety over my mom and whether shit was about to blow up.
Yeah, it really sucks that your mom just like ruined your wedding day by being so adamant about this cake that you didn't want.
Yeah, the fact that your bridal party had to play buffer,
Yeah.
that sounds stressful for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
If you're recently engaged and have difficult family relationships or aren't completely sold on shelling out a ton of money on a wedding, please let this be yet another loud voice yelling at you. Elope. Have a courthouse wedding. Don't invite problematic guests. Do whatever you want to do, but for the love of God, avoid that family drama at all costs. I wish we would have stuck to what I originally wanted, eloping somewhere abroad, but alas, I made my decision and have to accept it. What I didn't mention in my initial post was that my relationship with my mom immediately and irrevocably changed as soon as I became engaged. Even though I knew she could be a lot, I had no idea what I was in for. If I could do it all again, I would have stopped the wedding planning train in its tracks after the first few signs of craziness. The cake was, unsurprisingly, just the last straw of craziness that happened. Greatest hits include...
Ooh, I love it. Give me the deets on all the drama.
Literally telling, and I mean literally, everyone she knew that we were getting engaged less than 10 minutes after my husband told my parents he planned to propose. Upon sharing the proposal photos with her, commenting on how big I looked in the photos, which are, to this day, ruined for me.
Wow.
Told a family member who commented on how beautiful I looked at a pre-wedding event, yeah, well, she's gained a lot of weight.
Your mom doesn't like you.
Tried to crash my first look the day of my wedding and acted hurt that she wasn't invited. Did crash my first look and threw a fit when my wedding coordinator wouldn't let her in. Made the wedding all about how she never had a say in anything and that I was the controlling, immature one. We do still have contact today, but it's limited and I am very guarded with what I choose to share. She never genuinely apologized or acknowledged the stress and hurt she caused. Short of some major changes on her part, I don't see that happening. But yeah, moral of the story is to absolutely soak up the fresh excitement of getting engaged. But seriously, ask yourself if there's anyone in your life who will make wedding planning hell on earth. If you're oh so fortunate to have a character like that, have a plan to handle it, and be prepared to enforce those boundaries. And for the extra crazy families out there, maybe just elope.
I am so glad our families aren't crazy. We had no drama about our wedding.
Not really. It was pretty normal.
Yeah.
It was nice. I think the biggest drama at our wedding was that it was weirdly cold that day.
Yeah, when we were running around trying to get heaters for the outdoor ceremony so that Grandma wouldn't be freezing. The day before was beautiful, 72 and sunny, and then our wedding morning comes and it's like 45 degrees, and I was like, I'm getting married outside, damn it.
Yeah.
We did not have a plan for an indoor wedding.
No, there was a backup in the reception hall, but you didn't want it.
It was like a dark little room.
Yeah.
With no windows. And it looked like a conference center.
It was nowhere near as nice as our outdoor location.
And I was like, no, I'm getting married outside in the gazebo. Because there's no way we can make this conference center look pretty in an hour.
Top comment. Girl, not a single thing about the cake. What kind of update is this? What more could she tell you about the cake?
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe they missed the second update.
Yeah, but how did the cake go over at the rehearsal dinner?
Well, yeah, we never found that out, did we?
Yeah.
It's probably just okay.
It's weird that, like, because rehearsal dinners are usually pretty small, like, what, like 25 people versus the wedding, which is like 100 or more,
Uh-huh.
you know? So, like, why with all that cake for a small rehearsal dinner?
All right, this one is titled, Bride Said She Doesn't Want Bridesmaids. Bride is a friend of mine that is getting married next year. She said she wasn't having bridesmaids, and the fiancé wasn't having groomsmen. That in itself isn't the problem. The problem is, she's asking us to do all the things a bridesmaid would do anyways. She wants us to wear dresses in a specific color, pink, and by us, I mean a specific subset of guests, her close friends.
Sounds like she has bridesmaids.
We have to cover our own hair and makeup. We have to fly in a month earlier than the wedding because she wants us to do a bridal retreat, which we all have to chip in and pay for. Plus, we have to plan and organize for her, of course.
So she wants you to wear bridesmaid dresses, do your hair and makeup like a bridesmaid would, throw her a bachelorette party, and sounds like plan other things like the wedding showers, maybe?
Sounds like it.
Yeah, she has bridesmaids.
Backstory, I got married last year and had bridesmaids. I formally approached them, asked them if they wanted to do it, and what it could include. Gifted them Cartier bracelets as part of the bride tribe, and paid for their makeup and hair to be professionally done. They paid for their dresses and shoes, but they could pick their own design to suit their body type. This seems to me like she wants to skip any formal obligation to bridesmaids, but ask us to do all the bridesmaids things as friends. The part that stands out to me about this is none of this was outlined when we were given invitations. We were invited, and then one by one, we kept getting these requests as her close friends, which is beginning to make me suspect this was her plan all along. How do I gently put her down?
Yeah, I feel like when she comes to you and makes these requests, you need to be like, okay, well, that sounds like an obligation that a bridesmaid would need to fulfill. And I'm not a bridesmaid, and I just don't have the time or the resources to help you do this, you know?
Do you think it's about the label?
The bride seems very against having bridesmaids, but wants her friends to do all the obligations that come with being a bridesmaid. So is it she just doesn't want them to be labeled? Does she not want the obligation of having to get them like a bridesmaid gift? Does she just want bridesmaids but doesn't want them standing up there with her?
I was wondering if it's the groom doesn't have any friends, and
Maybe.
she wants, and to match his number, the option there is 0.
Yeah.
But in which case, is there a better way to have asked all your friends to be like, hey, I still want to do all this stuff with you?
Yeah. I feel like there is. Like, you could be like, hey, we're not officially having bridesmaids because groom doesn't have any groomsmen.
Yeah.
But I really wanted you to be my bridesmaid, but it's just not going to work out. So can you be my unofficial bridesmaid?
Yeah, there's ways to ask other than just one-on-one texting people and asking them to do things. Like, put a little out there out front.
Yeah, you can't just be like, you're not a bridesmaid, but I need you to do this, 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 and this, which is what it sounds like she's doing.
Yeah. Also, I don't care if you're a bridesmaid or not, flying in a month early for a bridal retreat.
Yeah, if you're flying in a month early for a weekend and then flying back home.
There's nothing about it being for a weekend.
That's insane then. I assumed it was just like, hey, a month before the wedding, we're having a weekend retreat.
That's what I would hope.
Yeah, I hope she just misworded that.
Yeah, I really hope so, because taking a month out of your life is insane.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, most of the comments on this are essentially summed up with just keep gently pushing back with a kind no unless it's something you actually want to do. You don't have any obligation if you're not a bridesmaid. It is funny how much you expect to be able to say no to when you're not a bridesmaid, but the second you get that label...
You're like, I gotta do all this stuff.
I gotta do all this stuff.
That's just why being a bridesmaid is a big commitment.
Mm-hmm. Am I the asshole for refusing to let my mom bring her new boyfriend to walk me down the aisle with her?
That's insane. No, you don't know this man. Why does he get to walk you down the aisle? No. That is audacious to even ask.
I, 26 female, and getting married in 2 months. My parents divorced when I was 12, and my mom, 52 female, raised me as a single parent for a long time. I always imagined her walking me down the aisle, and she's known this for years. The issue is, she started dating a guy, 58 male, about 6 months ago. He's fine, but we're not close at all. Last week, she told me she thinks it would be symbolic if he walked me down the aisle with her, since he's stepping into the father role I never had. I told her absolutely not, that moment is for her and me.
Wait, how old is she?
26.
Yeah, she doesn't need someone to step into the father role at this point.
No, it's when you're
That has been and gone. We're way past that.
Yeah, it's just weird if somebody tries to step into your father role at 26.
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
I ain't calling him daddy. She got upset and said I was being ungrateful and rejecting her happiness. She even cried about it in front of my fiance and said I was trying to erase her partner from my life. My dad isn't in the picture, so this feels like she's trying to rewrite my own wedding. My fiance thinks I'm right, but my mom is still guilting me. Am I the asshole for putting my foot down?
Not the asshole at all. That's insane. Your mom is like way gung-ho over this guy, huh?
She's really into him, apparently.
Wow. I feel like this is an unhealthy relationship that your mom is in if she is this obsessed with him 6 months in and like trying to make him your father. That is so weird.
I can't imagine a scenario. Does he even want to walk you down the aisle?
I don't know. She doesn't say he wants to. She wants him to.
Yeah.
As her new partner, you know. That's so weird.
If I was dating someone who, it had a kid that was going down the aisle, I would just be like, fine, I don't want to be the center of attention.
If I was dating someone for 6 months and they had a kid getting married, I'm not even sure I'd be invited to the wedding.
That's true.
That seems like so soon to be like at such a big, important family event.
I mean, you might go as mom's date. It's not that
but
weird
like
to bring
stay
a
in the
date.
background. Don't be in any pictures.
Yeah, don't get in pictures at 6 months.
That is so weird. Yeah, walking you down the aisle is insane. If your mom breaks up with this guy, which is possible, definitely a possible, she is going to be so upset looking back at your wedding photos, and this guy is walking you down the aisle. I feel like mom is not thinking this through and is not having a lot of foresight.
Yeah,
she is just so committed to this relationship of 6 months. She is all in, and that is so dangerous.
She is very much in the honeymoon phase.
Yeah.
Top comment. Not the asshole. This guy did nothing to earn his space in your life except for sleeping with your mom.
Yeah.
And that is not it. Ask your mom what she's trying to prove with this.
Yeah, I know mom really wants this, but I would try and like focus on how much your mom has done for you and how much that means to you. So you just want her to walk you down the aisle as the one who has been supporting you for 26 years, and she's so important to you, and you don't want her to share the spotlight with anyone else.
Oh, there you go.
Maybe like that is the nicest way to word it instead of who the F do you think this guy is that he's going to walk me down the aisle? No.
Yeah.
I don't know him.
Another comment. If he truly respected OP, he'd recognize that this isn't his place. Your mom's making this about her relationship instead of your wedding, and that's not fair to you, OP. To which someone replied, I mean, does he even know about it? Let's not judge him, we have zero info on him. Mama Dearest is a POS enough for both of them anyhow.
Yeah, does he know about this? Is he putting her up to this, or is this just completely her idea and he has no idea? She never says. I kind of feel like he doesn't know what's going on.
I hope so, just for the sake of your mom.
Yeah.
Because if he's been dating her for 6 months and is like, I want to walk your daughter down the aisle, that's scary.
That is weird and pushy and scary and yeah. I don't know. I feel like either way, whether the guy is pushing for it or it's just the mom pushing for it, it's not a healthy relationship. It's only been 6 months. You can't make this guy your daughter's father after 6 months and she's already an adult. This is so weird to me. I do not like it.
No,
it seems like a very toxic relationship if the mom is this obsessed with this guy this early.
If your kid's already in their 20s, he will always just be like Greg. He's never going to be dad.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I feel like once your child is an adult, if you remarry, your partner is not going to be like their stepdad. He's going to be my dad's wife or whatever.
Yeah, right.
My mom's husband,
Which is fine.
Yeah.
That's a perfectly fine relationship to have with someone.
Mm-hmm.
Not the asshole. I would tell her she can walk with me or I walk alone. I'm not having some guy who has been in her life 6 months take such a central role in my wedding. If she's so desperate to walk an aisle with him, they can go grocery shopping or get married themselves.
I love that.
All right, that's our last story for this episode of Josh and Kristie Stealing the Internet.
Thanks for joining us. Hit that subscribe button and we'll see you next time.